I stopped living a fake life on social media for about 630 days. The last day that I had my old Instagram account, including my old Facebook, and even LinkedIn, was December the 26th of 2022. Since then, I've never looked back, and it was the greatest decision I've ever made in my life. So in this video, if you feel like your life is not amounting to anywhere because you see all the people your age going to places and flexing endlessly on your social media feed, this video is going to empower you to wake up to your inherent self-worth and stop relying on useless information to move on with your life. Now, my name is Patty, and my mission is to really empower you to charge your life with 100% confidence. Okay, so let's get started. So to be brutally honest with you, I got really sick of feeling envious of people that I perceived to be my age but are just getting ahead in life. I was sick of asking myself questions like, well, what if I became less anxious? What if I wasn't depressed 3 years ago? What if I had just lost more weight because I wasn't disciplined enough? What if I had gotten an internship faster? What if I could have become more mature earlier and climbed the corporate ladder faster so I can save up money to go on these kind of luxury vacations that I myself cannot afford to go to because I developed slower than everybody else my age? And I realized that these thought patterns just kept lingering as long as I kept perpetuating the habit that caused me to feel so inferior and so less than everybody in this world. And it got to the point where I truly asked myself, well, I do have some things to flex on my Instagram feed. And has flexing made me feel more satisfied or fulfilled long-term with myself? And the answer was no. Nope. I sometimes went to fine dining and found the right angles. I got the right dress. They weren't like $300, but they were decently priced. So I was able to make that picture look like a perfect dream come true for a 20-something-year-old. There were times where I was able to fully shred, and I got a $40 bikini set online. So I was able to find the perfect angle at the beach and snap myself at the right angle, flexing my abs and a bit of my boobs and my butt, and made myself look like I was living my dream life. In the short term, while I was posting it, I felt like, okay, I'm finally catching up. I'm reaching a milestone where if they have those pictures, I have it too. But if you ask me 4 months later, do I feel happier with myself because I posted these pictures? Absolutely not, and never did. I never felt like I respected myself more because I had more, oh, she's living her dream life fantasy pictures on my social media feeds. I've never felt more fulfilled or more happier with myself just because I was able to tick off that, oh, I've checked in at Oban Dining. Oh, I went to Bondi Beach. Oh, I completed my swim at 6 a.m. or whatever. When I was able to do that without flexing, that was when I really respected myself. When I was able to really look at the sunrise for what it is and not having to flex to everybody that, oh, look at this, I'm seeing the sunrise. That was when my self-respect went up. And I realized that if you don't have that foundational respect for yourself, you won't achieve solid things in life. And I was sick of not achieving anything truly solid that I truly wanted out of life. Which leads to the part of me asking myself, well, what exactly do you want to achieve in life? Because there are people that are bragging on Facebook, maybe 5 years ago, people that were much younger than me, and they're just flexing every day. I just made 25 grand today in 1 day. I just made 7 figures within these last 6 months. And it's like every day I'm seeing these feeds and they're supposed to be motivating, but they actually made me feel like so much crap because I am trying to do the same thing, but I don't have the resource or the network or the connections or whatever to generate that kind of revenue. And then perhaps 2 years forward from the time I see all these posts, those very same people that are flexing that, oh, I just made 25 grand a month, and that kind of post then generates more lead. They might be suffering from disease, are unable to have children. They're feeling depressed, they're anxious because they work so hard to achieve the I made the 25 grand a day kind of, social post. But they have neglected their health. And I'm asking myself, well, is this what you want? Do you want people to know that today I made 25 grand at the cost of you not being able to swim properly, at the cost of you never being able to feel present with that sunrise, at the cost of you having to sell your soul to the industry, at the cost of you having to suffer so much from identity crisis, from feeling like I have no value to offer, but I have all these external assets. And that just made me feel very what the fuck kind of feeling. Now, I'm never saying that making money is a bad thing. But what if there could be a harmonious balance between having inner peace, having access though to luxuries and privilege at the right portion, not too much, not too less. Being able to swim at the capacity that I know that I can, being able to work on the things that I truly feel joy towards every single day, being able to know who I am every step of the way, being able to handle myself when I start to feel anxiety or depressed, and not leaving myself to the point of falling ill, to the point of being hospitalized because I was too busy chasing money. So I really had to ask myself, what exactly is it that you truly want? Because if you truly want a solid life, that life does not exist on you flexing on social media to people that don't even have that life. And instead of you inspiring them to really look inwards to realize their self-worth, I guarantee you that majority of the girls that are seeing you traveling to Bali in a bikini, even though they type things like, girl, you so hot, damn, slay queen, you are so gorgeous, Patty is slaying. But deep down, they also want to be there, right? Deep down, they also want to be the one having that dream bikini bought, flexing in Bali and, having financial freedom and feeling like they're living their dream life. So why would you perpetuate other people's insecurities constantly? Is the question I have for myself, that would the highest version of me continually perpetuate other people's insecurities? Because I can't find inner peace from just living a modest, quiet, but really enriching life. So it was like a rude awakening for me, because sometimes I go onto Instagram with no account. And with no account, you can't really scroll that much. Sometimes I go onto Instagram to check out my favorite K-pop idols' Instagram feeds. And then there are times where I also look at influencers' Instagram feeds. And I'm thinking that at the cost of me having, just only 100 comments below my pictures, maybe the following number would say 1 million followers, but then in the comment section, there's maybe only 100. I've even seen Thai celebrities where they have 4 million followers, but they have an average of 40 comments under their pictures. And I'm asking myself, at the cost of me going through countless plastic surgeries to have the perfect angle and the perfect nose and the perfect, puffed up lips. Because apparently if I don't have big filler lips, then I don't fit into beauty standards. But at the cost of me feeling like my waist is never small enough because my genetics is not built that way. At the cost of me feeling like, why doesn't my leg look elongated like that? Because I'm born with more muscular and shorter legs. And I'm asking myself, is that what I truly want to keep perpetuating in my life? This constant hamster wheel cycle of okay, let's get the perfect sunset lighting and the perfect angle to flex to people that may not even have a chance of ever experiencing what you have access to, and perpetuating the inner insecurities within them. Because think about who follows you? If you have 1 million followers, who makes up 80% of your followers? Do you know 800,000 people in person? And from my personal understanding, they are only good friends with people that share similar lifestyle, thinking patterns, habits, conversations, earning potential as them. So do you know 800,000 people that are in that same capacity as you? Because if you don't know them, why would you constantly perpetuate people's insecurities and make them feel like it's never enough, their legs are never long enough, their boobs are never big enough? And Even though this whole thing is an industry, it's a place to make profit. And of course, there are so many influencers and models and actresses and actors that can't give this up. They just can't stop posting because they don't want to be in this game anymore. Because if they don't post, they don't get the work. But I ask myself, if I truly have the choice, do I want that life? Or do I want to create a business that doesn't involve me having to flex all the time for profit? Because I know that back when I was in my early 20s, I always assumed that the pinnacle of success for a 20-year-old girl is to have, slim thighs, beautiful body portions, a solid Instagram following, the bigger the better, engagements, brand sponsorships on Instagram, access to $200 dress minimum, beautiful matching heels, designer bags, plus you having the time to always be in Greece, then Bali, then LA. And it's just like, it looks like the pinnacle happiness for a 20-something-year-old, insecure 20-something-year-old that I was. But I asked myself, okay, in my 30s and onwards, if my life has to be dependent on me scouting for locations, perfect lighting, and always having to chase brand deals at the cost of me having to spend countless nights wondering if my nose is pointy enough, wondering if my lips are plumped enough. Is that really a truly rich life? Even if the data says, 1 million followers on Instagram. Oh yeah, the data says that I must be worthy. But then I'm falling asleep each night feeling like my waist is not thin enough. I am not there yet. If I want to be that aesthetic, if I want more followers, if I want more brand deals, I must fit that aesthetic. And that was what, Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok a little bit did to me. It just made me feel like it's never, ever, ever enough. And even when I was trying to use Instagram solely as a business, where I was posting carousels and, doing short reels, again, I found myself asking, well, if I just had a better room, a better lighting, a better background, more budget to invest, to make viral contents, then I'll get more coaching clients from being on Instagram. And you know what? Like, honestly, I feel like it's all the same. Like with social media and coaching, the purpose of life coaching is to help your clients live the life that they aspire to live. There are so many amazing teachers, gurus and coaches that share real valuable information. And then there are influencer coaches where, if you sign up with me, then you will get to have this bikini body and live this life that I have. And I was really sick of immersing myself in that kind of world where, the more you have to flex, the higher the chances of you signing your clients. And then when you happen to sign your client, especially at a higher price than average, now you can flex onto Instagram that you were able to close your clients at, $500 a session, if that's a big deal for you. Or you're able to close a $30,000 deal right on the spot, some sort of coaching package. And then you use that actual thing to perpetuate other people's inner insecurities that they couldn't do the same as you, especially people that are aspiring to share what they know, but they don't have the resource and capacity to invest in ads, in getting more organic followers. And it's just that is not the hamster wheel I wish to be in. And so what happened after I was able to detach fully from that world where everything is, created to perpetuate people's inner insecurities, I focus on where I enjoy investing my time and how that could potentially add value to people's life. So here I am on a brand new YouTube account 9 months later from the time I published my first content. And even though behind the scenes, it's been an absolute roller coaster because there were literally 2 family members that passed away in the process of me just trying to get monetized with very little resource. Plus all these other problems that came up along the way. But it's probably been the closest that I could say I really like who I am now. That I respect who I am and I feel satisfied more with who I inherently am. Because I'm no longer using social media, again, to perpetuate people's insecurities that, I get to be here and you don't. I get to swim in a fresh sea salt water at 7 a.m., but you don't. You have to commute to work. To finally not be in that circle where if you have it, I need to have it. If I don't have it, I'm less than you. But now social media for me is just this YouTube channel. I don't have Instagram. I don't have LinkedIn because I found LinkedIn to be exactly like Instagram. But it's just in terms of work promotions, connections, opportunities, speaking events. I get to speak at this event. I got promoted here. I got promoted there. It's the same thing. Perpetuating the inner insecurities of people that are not in the position to be a speaker like you, even though they may be better than you at speaking. Once that world was gone, I was able to wake up to the realities of life where, okay, yes, our thoughts create our reality and, we can make our life extremely abundant with our thoughts. But then I was also able to be more compassionate towards those that are not where they want to be. The people that I see working hospitality jobs, retail jobs, cleaning toilets, cleaning the garbage, taking food away from the food court. We go to this Maltang restaurant in Kingsford and people that are much older than my parents in their 60s and 70s, they're working in rush hours in a Maltang restaurant filled with uni students. Always peak hour all the time. And with Maltang, it's self-serve. So then the people can just choose whatever they want. They sit down and all these, older ladies, like aunties and grandma, they're the one that's packing up after these uni students. They're the ones that are constantly refilling the Maltang. And I'm thinking about these people that while you guys are perpetuating other people's insecurities, but there are people like these that exist and they're working. They don't have the opportunity, the access, the privilege to be where you want to be. And for me to not have to feel the guilt of, gosh, what the hell am I doing with my privilege? But more I'm finally contributing something worthwhile to the world so that I never have to feel ashamed of facing these people that are doing actual work to just be able to survive in Australia. It's been an absolute privilege for me that I even had Australian citizenship from the start, because just going through the whole process of trying to get a permanent residency could really deter you away from the dream life that you want to have if you're not careful with how you approach it. So there were many, many obstacles that I just eventually doesn't count in my reality just because I'm lucky and I'm privileged to have this life. So I'm asking myself, if I were to really, really like who I am in my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s, how would I use Instagram? Instead of not using it all, if I were to have it again, how would I really use it? Will I use it in a way where my post makes people feel like, oh yeah, that's interesting. I want to do that. Instead of me posting things where, oh yeah, my work celebration, getting a promotion, all these things to people that may never have a chance to work at the company that you do, just because they don't have access, they don't have privilege. Let's be real, okay, a lot of jobs, yes, you require skills and experience, but a lot of it is also privilege. I am privileged to be in a position to go to that interview, to work that job, to commute to that job conveniently. That's why just coming back to build real content, the real things that make people feel like, oh, that's her perspective, I can learn from it. Oh, that's what she's going through, so now I can improve the way I approach my life. That is how I truly want to use social media. I have to be honest that because I'm not a Gen Z myself, but I do see how Gen Zs approach social media. Maybe it will never get better. Maybe it will continue to just get worse. It's like this playground of egotistical content dumping where it's who has more? Who lives in a more luxurious home? So I can do a dance cover in that luxurious home. And even though, yes, these things can be fun, but again, a lot of it is perpetuating the fact that I don't even have a spare room to dance in. There are people like that. So maybe this video seems very pessimistic, but once you see things for how it is, now you just want to be intentional with, okay, how would my content truly impact the people that are feeling depressed like I was? In terms of the picture that she's posting on her Instagram to boost her ego, I'm done. I'm so done with that way of living. I am so done of having to feel because my boobs are not as big as hers, therefore my profile will never be as profitable as hers, at least on Instagram, only because my boobs are not appealing and therefore it gets less engagements. Because let's be real, even if you have solid content to share, and you feel like, I do have the brains to share valuable things, but people will always kind of be physically drawn to you. And the ones that are more physically attractive will kind of always get the upper hand. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, but majority of the time, it's mostly about how you appease to the eyes before they go to the depths of who you are. And I don't want to play in a game or be associated with the world where everything is just about what is appeasing to the eyes in order for me to be profitable long term. No. And I'm so glad to just finally be finished with that. For 600 days, that's just like the time where I finished being in that world. But I'm truly finished and I'm not going back after 600 days. I never want to go back there anymore. I don't have a desire to go back there, and the desire I only have now is to continue improving this YouTube channel and improving my content for you. So you can finally live life in a way where, I can control the ship now. No more people making me feel defeated. None of that, because I know who I am and I know where I belong in this world. And I truly hope this video empower you guys to really believe in yourself and go for the things that you want. Put the blindness on and focus on your goals and achieve them and be a badass that you're always meant to be. All right, this is Patty and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Bye-bye.